The Turkish Cast-on for toe-up socks. This version uses 2 circular needles for the cast-on. So I've got my 2 needles here, and I've chosen to have 2 different materials. So I've got a wood needle and a metal gold finish needle. The first thing I need to do is to make a slip knot. So I make my slip knot, and I'm going to place the slip knot on what I'm calling the lower of the 2 needles. So when I'm holding them together, my wood needle is above my metal needle. The slip knot is on the lower needle, and then I take the yarn attached to the ball, the working yarn, behind the 2 needles. So I'm now ready to work my wraps. I'm only going to cast on enough for a baby demo sock. So for the demonstration I only need 6 stitches. So to make 6 stitches on each needle, I just wrap the yarn around the needles 6 times. So you can see I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wraps. I do not count the slip knot because we are going to be discarding the slip knot. So having now got my wraps and holding onto the yarn so that it's still coming around the back, I'm going to take hold of the lower needle, my gold coloured metal needle, and I'm going to pull that needle to the right so that the loops go onto the cord. What this does is gives me enough room to now, with the other end of my wood needle, knit the loops that are on the wooden needle. So it does take a little bit of time to just have to get your hands sorted out. So I've now got my yarn in my right hand. The yarn is still coming round the wrap of the lower needle, and I'm going to go into the first loop on the top needle. So let me just hold it there. So at the moment it looks slightly odd, but I go round and then I work a normal stitch through that loop and drop the loop off the top needle. So I now work each loop on the top needle. I've got 2 more to work. Right. So I've now knitted all 6 loops on the top needle. I now want to rotate my needles so the wooden needle is at the bottom and the metal needle is at the top, and I'm going to start pushing the loops towards the point of the metal needle. But before I do that, I'm going to pull those stitches I've just made here onto the cord of my wooden needle. So if I now push the loops up onto the metal needle, I've got 6 loops plus a slip knot. We don't need the slip knot, but it's very important. So I'm just going to drop the slip knot off the end, and I can undo it, but it's very important to make sure that you keep the slip knot around the working yarn so we don't lose this end stitch here on the lower needle. Having now got my stitches ready to be worked on the gold needle, I'm now going to knit across the stitches on the gold needle. and that's the cast on. So I've worked one round over the stitches, and we've just got the row of stitches at the centre, which is the exact match with a grafted toe. So that's the Turkish cast on for toe up socks using 2 circular needles.